This week on another This Week in Startups, I don't even have to read the teleprompter. I can do it blind. Daniel Ha from Disqus is on the program. Another New Yorker wades into the Shark Tank. Will he be eaten alive? Batala and his insights. And Mike Bracco is back with the news. 11 days out from the launch conference. It is booming. You're going to hear about all that and more today on This Week in Startups.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another This Week in Startups. We've got an amazing show with you. The founder of Disqus is here. This is a site I dismissed. This is another one of these stupid things where I had like this young entrepreneur. This is why I became an angel investor. Young entrepreneur emails me. He's like, hey, I'm doing this company. And I'm just like, oh my God, a commenting system for blogs? That's so stupid. Get out of here, kid. You bother me. Yeah. But what do I know? I'm an idiot. Yeah. Now he's got, like, according to Quantcast, his site's like the number 3 site behind Facebook or something. I mean, he gets to group together with all the other comments for his site. So it's not like it's his traffic. Right. But still, I mean, this company's worth probably $100 million right now. And I bet you if I'd asked to angel invest, I probably would have got in at like 5. More money I've lost because I don't listen to young people when they say they're going to change the world. I'm an idiot. And this guy proved me wrong. I dismissed him. I was like, I don't need your comment system. Get out of here, kid. You bother me. Just like I did like 5 other people. I'm such an idiot.
Who else?
I don't want to get into it. No, it starts getting frustrating because I need money right now.
Matt Coffin says you kind of blew him off with Lower My Bills. Yeah.
Well, of course I did that. I was like, Matt Coffin's like, oh, it's Lower My Bills. You email us all your bills. This was his original idea.
He came to you with this before he did it.
But like right when he started, very early.
Yes.
Before he sold for $500 million. Like,
yes.
Everybody emails we get your bills. You send them to our P.O. box. Mm-hmm. We scan in your bills, your credit card, whatever, savings bills, sort of like Mint or whatever. Uh-huh. And then we negotiate lower prices based upon calling up your people. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm Jason Calcanis' assistant. He would like to get a lower price on the credit card. If you will not give it to him, we're going to go to somewhere else. Will you give it to him? And then they just pass that on to you, the savings. Yeah. And they make a bounty or whatever.
Yes.
And I was like, that's the stupidest idea I ever heard.
$500 million later.
Well, he built the lead gen business. But yes. So that's an example of bet the horse, not the race.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Who else?
I don't want to get into it. Because you know what? It always winds up leading to the same 2 things. Twitter and Zynga.
Yeah.
I was literally at dinner. Mark Pincus called me. And Mark Pincus, who's one of my dearest friends for a long time, he was lost in a drift after Tribe failed. Mm-hmm. And I'm hanging out with him and my wife and whatever, and we're motorboating in Lake Tahoe. He had like this little dingy house, like ski bum house, mm-hmm. and we're hanging out there with the dog Zynga, mm-hmm. And I had my dog Toro. It was really, now they're both dead. It's really kind of bumming me out. But we had like this Bill Bomb because we both loved our dogs so much. We were like single guys with dogs that were. He had an American bulldog. I had an English bulldog. Mm-hmm. We were sort of simpatico. We were both hated in the industry. Both rebels. Both had good dogs. Anyway, he's like, I want to be important. I want to be respected like these guys. Like he was just like sort of lamenting that he got no respect, even though he'd made tens of millions of dollars from Freeload and this other stuff. And he's like, I'm going to buy this poker thing that's on Facebook. This kid's made a poker thing. I'm like, that Facebook is a joke. What are you doing? There's no money to be made. He's like, well, you sell the chips virtually. I'm like, what? I play poker. You're going to sell virtual chips? It's the stupidest idea I've ever seen. And he's like, yeah, well, I'll angel invest in Mahalo, and if you want to angel invest in Zynga. If I literally put $100,000 into that, do you know how much it would be worth right now?
$10 million.
It probably would have been at a $5 million valuation. The company's worth $5 billion now. So that's 1,000x.
Oh, Jesus.
100x would be 500. 1,000x. So what's 100,000 times 1,000? Is that $100 million? It's about $100 million. The same thing with Twitter. And I thought that was a stupid idea too. I'm an idiot. Now I'm just going to start spending. I'm just like, here, take $10,000. Give me a quarter point of advisor equity. I like you. That's it.
Yeah.
You saw it. When we were doing the yesterday, the last 2 days, you and I were up at Sequoia.
Yes.
We're doing rehearsals with the companies, and there are all these great companies.
Yeah.
I mean, the quality level.
Highly investable.
highly investable.
Yes.
And it's so awesome now as an angel investor because
Yeah.
I'm doing this huge mitzvah for them. They love me
Yeah.
because I'm putting them on stage. We giving them free training.
Yep.
You know, like Demo. These
There's-
guys are D-bags at Demo who are charging them so much.
Yeah.
So they love the fact that it's free or
There's-
whatever. And I care about them. You know, what do we take? 7, 8 days out of our schedule to prepare them.
Yeah.
And all the scores, what, 6, 7, and 8?
The scores this time, and we were surprised. I mean, we kept saying, like, I can't believe how high the scores are this time.
Right.
Because we've been doing this for 4 years now, and it's normally first round, they're like a 4, 5, or 6.
Yes.
These were all 5, 6, 7, 8s. There was 9s.
There was 9s. And it was
unreal.
like, and when I asked them, how did you find out about the conference? The most telling thing, 2/3 found out about it on this very show This Week in Startups. If you're wondering who those 100,000 people downloading the show are, I'm telling you something right now. More people watch the show than read TechCrunch. Boom. I will have my revenge in this life or the next.
I can only say that the quality of these startups, it's the best batch we've had yet.
I know, but you can't say that when the
but
previous
that's
ones
be-
were Mint, PowerSet,
But this,
TripIt.
it'll
It's
speak
unfair.
It'll speak for itself.
But will they reach that level? Fitbit, Yammer?
There's a couple that I want to put money in, like right now, and I never said that before.
I'll let you do that. I'll encourage them to do that, yeah. I feel like, hey, listen, we can double. No conflict, no interest. That's the way I feel about it. All right, we have a lot of housekeeping to do. I'm sorry. I just want to make one note. Don't send me crazy mail. Every week, 2 or 3 things come in the mail that are crazy. Here's one. Don't send me foreign currency in the mail to try to get my attention. This is insane. Because then what happens is I have to read the letter. And this person's like, I am insane. Here's 1,000 yen notes. I'm insane. When you think of me, think about making money passively. The Japanese 1,000 yen note has a lot of zeros, and I'd like to add zeros to your bank account. Like, I'm intrigued. But I don't need $10.
What's the rest of that pitch?
It's something about it says, it puts the lotion in the basket. It puts the lotion in the basket. What does that mean?
Isn't that from Silence of the Lambs?
Oh, I cursed already on the show. 7 minutes in. All right, let's say, hey guys, what are you guys doing after work? You want to go to Warzara and spend this drink money? This weekend crew? Who's going to Warzara?
Just give them the yen. That's $10.
Here you go. Here's your Take this over to Wazawa and get yourself. Anyway, don't send crazy. Oof, is that $40 already? And what am I up to? Rob's keeping count,
you're
right?
at least $100.
$100. This is like the 8th time I've cursed in 6 weeks. It's $20 a pop. It's adding up. It's $160. I'm going to wind up buying a lot of drinks. Anyway, we're getting way far behind. I love my new desk. I want to talk about the new desk for a minute.
Okay.
I mentioned it on a previous program. Let's get the wide shot of the desk. This desk was made by my friend EricOrganic.com. I love this desk. You know how much I love this desk? That's how much I love this desk. I dream about this desk at night. This is the desk I've been waiting for, and I just want Eric to know that I love it. I love the fact that it's 100% solid wood.
Is this organic wood?
This was made by an Amish craftsman. I am blown away. And I was going to buy a new desk. You know how much this desk would have cost me? A lot. And this guy, what a mensch. It was custom designed to our specifications by Eric Organic. He took our ideas, did a couple of months of mock-ups, got the right design, and created a desk to fit my studio.
This is your version of blank label. I see what
This
you're
is
doing.
my blank label. This is my own personal blank label. This desk is 100% solid wood. It was made by Amish craftsmen who have been making tables and desks for over 30 years. If you love beauty, if you love good things in the world, go to Eric Organic and say thank you, Eric Organic, for supporting independent media like This Weekend. And do not send me foreign currency anymore, people, please. Instead, send a beautiful Amish desk. No, I mean, I'm blown away, and I love the desk. And really, Eric, sincerely, I love the desk. Thank you.
It is beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Okay, another thing that's beautiful is MailChimp, MailChimp, MailChimp. Thank you for upgrading the free subscription plans to 2,000 subscribers, because now when I tell people get MailChimp, it's just so obvious why they should do so. It's free for up to 2,000 people. That's 95% of the market.
Right.
If you're part of the 5% of the market that has over 2,000 people, it's so cheap. It's like pennies. And you can test the mail.
Yeah.
You can get the open rate.
It's all the other stuff.
All
you
the
can
other
do.
features. It's amazing. And I could go through all of them, but I've done it so many times that the one thing I just want to tell you is that I use the product every week. And I use it across a bunch of companies. And GDGT is using it, and Habitat's using it. I am telling my portfolio companies, get on MailChimp. Email is the sleeper. And if you know the Nokia thing that came out this week, the whole Nokia guys, a burning oil rig, great memo. Peter Rojas and Ryan Block wrote an incredible editorial and sent it to like, I shouldn't say 400,000 people, but they have like 400,000 emails or something insane like that who signed up for GDGT. They send it. They get like 0 unsubscribes. It's editorial gold. People love it. And it has, I'm on the board, so I got to be careful the metrics I can say and I can't say. It's been transformative for the business. Transformative. And you know what it takes them to do it? They spend, 2 or 3 hours writing what they write, and they spend 10 minutes in MailChimp. And 9 of those minutes is hitting refresh to look at the open rates and see if it's Gmail or Facebook and get insights and which links they're clicking on to understand your customers more.
Do they show a graph of the minutes after, how many opens after?
Yeah, the whole thing is it's graphed out to you with the help.
Oh, wow.
There's
That'd be
so
cool.
much metrics in MailChimp that literally you can geek out for hours. And they just redesigned the site, so an incredibly good-looking site is even better looking. Thank you, MailChimp. I love you guys. MailChimp.
You know, MailChimp.
Hello, Jason. I am Mo 3000. I just want to tell you that your was very much appreciated. You did it perfectly. Is there any way, though, however, you could throw in one more Because last week you did 12 EEs, and this week you did 9. I'm concerned the client's going to want more EEs. In their contract, it doesn't specify the number of EEs. I mean, this is what I deal with when I walk out of the show. Mo is sitting there. Mo 3000 is waiting for me. I open the door. It's like he's a stalker. I feel like, the guy who shot John Lennon, who's like Mr. Lennon? That's what Mo is to me. Who was the guy who shot John Lennon?
I don't know.
Somebody call it out. Somebody look it up on Wikipedia. I got a bunch of 12-year-olds working here. They don't even know who John Lennon is.
Yeah.
I walk out of the place. Mo 3000 is waiting there like C-3PO.
Yeah.
Like Han Solo's trying to get...
Right.
That's 3 in one show. We're 12 minutes in. You know how Han Solo's trying to get stuff done? The Millennium Falcon's falling apart?
Yes.
That's my life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go 12 part. I'm trying to beat the parsecs and the kettle race. I got a lot of...
Light speed.
I got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on. And then I got C-3PO following me through the office. Jason, I just want to let you know that .co was very happy with the performance on the show. Did you know it was Joan Rivers who was the model? That wasn't actually her body, though. Can you say you enjoyed the commercial greatly? Mo 3000. All right. Mark David Chapman shot John Lennon. What a jerk off that guy is. I mean, really. I want somebody to write an alternative piece of fiction if John Lennon had lived. Can you imagine John Lennon, what he would have said about George Bush and all the nonsense of the wars? I'll tell you something. A guy like John Lennon could have stopped the wars. It would have been a whole different story if John Lennon said, hey, let's all meet in Central Park and stop this war. There would have been 10 million people there. We might not have gone into Iraq. We might have gotten the hell out of there. I miss you, John Lennon. I really do. Okay, enough of this. I'm on a tangent. I'm on a tear. My energy is about to collapse. I got to get through the show.
Okay.
And then I got to get through 10 minutes of Mo 3000. So I got to conserve a little bit of energy. On the program is Daniel Ha. He is the founder of Disqus. He started Disqus while a junior studying computer science and engineering at UC Davis. He co-founded with a longtime friend, Jason, who he met while in 7th grade algebra class. That means he's a nerd, and so is co-founder. Worked on many websites together, ran communities together since 13. They dropped out of school when Y Combinator offered to fund Disqus. So it's a YC company, which means it's doing awesome. The Disqus network reaches, and this is where things get interesting. Guess how many millions of people the Disqus network reaches a month?
I don't
Uniques.
have to guess because I have the notes here.
Oh, you
but
have the notes.
when I saw the number, I'm quite impressed.
It's like, this is what I'm like reading this. This is how I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Like Mahalo is 12 million uniques, and we're
Yeah.
number, 160, 170
Yeah.
podcasts. I'm like, what? 400 million uniques to discuss. By the way, it's like Google 500 million, Facebook 600 million, Disqus 400 million. Unbelievable. Can you believe that number? It's insane. Now, there's some caveats there, of course. Mm-hmm. It's not their traffic. They don't own it. But it does represent, just like WordPress or Tumblr, who doesn't own all of their traffic, but they power that. I mean, it's really impressive. And Disqus works, I feel like I'm doing a commercial now. Disqus works with over 500,000 active sites, Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox News, IGN, Engadget, TechCrunch, and Telegraph. And I use it on calicanis.com now, and I use it on the launch site. They're backed by Union Square Ventures, Fred Wilson, my good friend. I remember when he wrote the blog post about it, and Y Combinator. I know what's going to happen at the show. I really enjoyed your interview with the founders of Disqus. Do you think they might be interested in sponsoring? Because your introduction was so good. report. Hey, Daniel, welcome to the program. I'm sorry you had to deal with all this stuff leading up to it. Congratulations on all your success, and thanks for taking the time.
How's it going?
Good. How many people work at your company? And
We are 16.
16?
Yeah.
Okay, now wait a second. Tyler, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Divide the number 16 into 400. I don't know what the exact number is there, but I think that means you have about 25 million. Is that 25 million uniques per employee?
Yeah.
25 on the dot, yeah.
Oh, it's 25 on the dot. Okay. And how many servers does it take for you to run a service that's so big?
I don't know. It's grown a lot in the last, I want to say 4 or 5 months. So we've gone from, sub 100 to, much over 100 now.
And so 400 million uniques, it's a very impressive number.
Thank you.
How did you get to such scale in, what is it now? I don't know, 4 years?
It's been just a little over 3 years. So I think
Yeah.
we're hitting 3.5 years coming up.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what is the secret behind the massive adoption of this in your mind? What was the key thing that you did that made people want to kick out their existing commenting system? Is there, like YouTube says, oh, it was flash-based as opposed to real media, or they say the syndication, you could embed and it was free. What are those things that made Disqus explode in usage?
Actually, I remember emailing you in 2007 about using Disqus. And I think your response was something along the lines of, get out of here, kid. I don't believe in this. This is a stupid idea.
That's exactly what I said. I
Yeah.
mean, basically, this is what I said. I was like, Daniel, why would I give you my traffic? And it's JavaScript based, so I'm not going to get any SEO out of it. This is crazy. Like, what is the thinking? But so, was I right about the SEO issue? And how did you get over that? Because in those days, Google didn't index your comments, correct?
Yeah.
And now they do. Or they do.
Yeah. So for sites like WordPress, we have pretty strong API-powered indexable comments. And right now, since then, we've basically been hearing all this stuff about why you would not want to use Disqus. We took all those things and we addressed those things one by one, just crossing them off the list. I think a lot of our traction and growth comes from, people seeing that on their favorite websites, them starting their own communities, and them wanting to connect with their communities in some way. And then we just have those sites representing Disqus for us. So right now it's all been organic. We haven't done anything very aggressive with marketing or distribution, but we're trying, much harder there this year.
So what were the things that people reacted negatively to? I mean, obviously the SEO was a big one. What were the other things that the objections that you basically got people to stop objecting to?
Yeah, so the SEO thing was a big one. It was, do I own my comments? Do I own that data? Are the users mine or are they yours? So, we, wrote some blog posts about that. We made a lot of explicit policy rules around what sort of information belongs to us and what belongs to the websites. And we don't want to take anything away from you as a blogger or any sort of publisher. So everything that we do, you still own that data. That relationship is always yours.
Right. So if I get a comment from Tyler and he puts his email address in, I have access to that email address.
Yeah.
Just like I would if I use WordPress's built-in
Yeah, we don't want
comments.
to take anything away from, what you're used to.
And so why was it so easy for you to basically concede on all of these things? Because a lot of times entrepreneurs are like, you know what, we can't give that up. Like, for example, in Facebook's case, they won't give up certain things like email, right? They're like, hey, that's our user. We're not going to give away the social graph. We're not going to give away email. We don't want to be open like that. But you seem to have this ability to transcend that. Was that because of necessity, or was it a strategic decision? Or did Fred Wilson tell you to do that? Or was it just some observation? How did you come to that?
We were actually building the product alongside the users. So we launched something that was fairly simple. It was a comment system that we thought would be better than what you were already using. People started using that. They started telling us what they wanted to see. They started telling us what they couldn't do with Disqus, or what they wished Disqus would do. We slowly took those things, built into the product, and over the course of about 12 to 16 months, it became the Disqus that you know today. So we basically built it along the early adopters.
So I'm using it on a bunch of sites, and the reason I use it mainly is because I'm logged into it already.
Yeah.
and so many other people are logged into it already that I feel like it adds a little fluidity to your commenting because, well, if people don't have to log in, that's one less step, and that's the only hurdle. Is that one of the big secrets, is that you got to scale, and now if you don't use Disqus, it's sort of like you're at a disadvantage now?
We're getting a lot of people coming to websites and saying, my favorite websites use Disqus, and I want to see you use Disqus. So we're getting a lot of people being sort of like brand ambassadors for us, just spreading Disqus, and the utilities to websites are not really familiar with our service.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of the growth comes from, and people just coming across, spreading, the value of Disqus to those different websites. So definitely.
Is there a business model here? Because I don't know that I've ever paid any money for it. I don't know if I can pay any money for it. Is there a paid product? How does it work in terms of making it into a business?
Yeah. So, like a lot of social products, revenue hasn't been our primary focus so far, but this past November, we launched something called add-ons, which is a way for publishers to add on analytics, single sign-on, and various integration tools to make their use of Disqus much stronger. So we're making money from that. It's growing really well. That alone is going to take us to profitability. It's not a big focus for us right now. We're treating that almost like a distribution play. But it's been great. That's where we make all of our money today.
And what do you call that product?
It's called add-ons. It's basically a premium service on top of Disqus.
And so let me see if I understand it. I'm looking at it right now, but I can get analytics. Is that the main reason people get it? They want to see how many comments they're getting, where the people are coming from. Is that it?
Yeah. So go to /add-ons, disqus.com/add-ons, one word.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And they'll show you some of our pricing and some of the tools you get. If you're somewhere like CNN or Fox News and you want some of those tools.
And so guaranteed uptime and dedicated service. So it's a little bit faster, I guess, if you use the dedicated service themes. That's pretty good. Implementation support. Somebody will pick up the phone. I take it. What is real-time updating? I've never actually heard of that.
So a lot of the sites right now, when you're posting on Disqus, there's a feature that makes it more like a synchronous chat.
So like on Twitter when it will say, oh, by the way, some new comments have been posted. I zoomed in on it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not live. Like we just did live answers at Mahalo. It's not like you could see them typing.
No. There's no, you can see them typing, but it does stream in. You can choose to do that as well.
All right. So you've got this huge audience. Mm-hmm. You got a revenue model. I'm assuming when I get comments and people log in to Disqus, you also get to have them as a customer, right? Is that part of the deal? Like they create a Disqus account if they don't have one, or?
Yeah, so users can log in. They can post, however they want to post today as a guest. They can log in through Disqus, or they can, use one of the social networks of their choice. Facebook, Twitter are popular ones.
So that means Disqus itself has a large number of user accounts.
Yeah, so we have a little over 25 million.
So you have a percentage of the people who use it every month. So 400 million uniques. Probably 80% of those are reading only, and that leaves 100 million left. So out of the 100 million, 25% of those create a Disqus account. Is that the basic math or something?
Yeah, that's basically it. We have a consumer product, disqus.com/dashboard, which is a way for those, that 25 million people to go in and manage their conversations. They can follow, Jason Calacanis' comments around the web. They can respond to you. They can track and edit the replies anytime they need to.
And so how do you keep that product? Because I actually go to that page sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you keep that product from feeling like it's competing with the sites themselves? Like how do you get Huffington Post or Launch or TechCrunch to say, well, that's just that's not competing with us. That's just syndicating to us. What's the technique at not making people feel like they're a partner, not being poached?
Yeah, so we have to show through actual numbers that sort of engagement in the audience is good for them. So we do that through our analytics, or we share numbers with them that shows that network is actually not just for us. That network is to benefit every site that uses Disqus today and in the future as that network grows.
Right. Now, when you look at this, however, it is a pretty handy look at me on the web, right? Like when I'm looking at my profile, it's like, hey, that's like Jason's life on the web. Do you index that? Like, so I've never seen if I type in Jason Calacanis, like in a Google SERP or a Bing SERP, you come up. Like I'll see my Crunchbase, my Wikipedia, my Twitter. Yeah. Are these pages not indexed in, or are they just not ranked well yet?
Go to highlight over your name on the top right, and then pull up your profile.
Okay. There it is. Okay.
And that's a snapshot of your profile. That's what shows up on everyone's, every site that uses Disqus. You can bring up that same profile and see your activity across the web.
Right. So it's pretty stripped down. It's not meant to be like that all-encompassing.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not, we're treading this very careful line between being a publisher-friendly tool and also a very strong network in our own right. We're doing a lot of work there to kind of make that balance work for us. And we want that. Sorry?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, we want that relationship with end users. We think that the product for end users is very powerful. That sort of activity benefits, CNN and Fox News. That sort of activity actually makes it work better for them.
Right.
But there's going to be sites that are going to say, well, is this threatening to us? Is it something that's going to take our audience away?
Yeah.
So far, we can say no, it doesn't. So we're doing a lot to try to prove that out.
And I see when you look at the profile here, I'm looking at the profile, I'll zoom in on it. When I zoom in on it, you'll see the thing that you're featuring most is where I comment the most. So you can see, hey, launch, my blog, Boomtown, All Things D, that's Kara Swisher's, This Week In, Rob Brown's website, I guess, VentureBeat, Social Tech, Open Angel Forum. That's actually good for your partners.
Yeah.
More than it's good for you. And I just did a Google search, Jason Calacanis Disqus, and you don't come up.
Let me try that.
Yeah, like it's basically like I just did it, and you're not even in the top 10. I mean, some of the blogs that you service are, but you're not. Not even in the top 20. That's amazing.
That's very true.
So you're purposely trying to not beat out your competitors. Beat out your partners,
we're not purposely trying to be very bad at Google.
Right.
But we're not doing anything different to be good at it. So
got it.
The fact that I didn't even know, whether or not it would show up very prominently, it doesn't mean a lot to us right now. We don't really care about that traffic to discuss that.
Right. So now I got to ask, I mean, if I was running this business and I had a bunch of comments, and I know a lot about the users, like, for example, I'm on all these tech blogs, you could make a hell of an ad network, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. It was great having you on the program, Daniel. No, I mean, obviously, this is a sleeper for an ad network. You could release an ad network where you could say, hey, would you like to have text ads across these 15 tech sites? When does that launch?
We think there are very good potential revenue streams for us that we're not going to do now because we don't have 100% of the web. Right. I think that where the product is right now, we could get to the point where we own the majority of communities that are integrated into websites, blog comments, any sort of like integrated discussion forum. But if we launch ads in the middle of that, we may not have that sort of penetration to make it work long term.
Right.
So that's a sort of like thinking that we want to, that we want to embrace very early on, not to cannibalize our long term traction, not to make some short term revenue in lieu of, getting to that big scale that we needed for it to actually work.
So that makes a lot of sense. And you've got Fred Wilson as a board member, I think?
Yeah.
And so how much of that, because that's got Fred Wilson's fingerprints all over it, having known Fred and knowing him, Web 1.0, Web 2.0, that's basically his counsel. Get to scale and then figure out the business model. That's what he's doing with Twitter, et cetera. That's what he did with GeoCities. That's what he did with a lot of the companies in terms of advising him. Was that his counsel?
No, Fred's definitely on board with that sort of thinking. But no, that's something that we wanted to do from, day zero.
Yeah. And so the market's very hot. You guys have raised a decent amount of money, and you guys are a massive acquisition candidate. I've heard a ton of rumors, but without getting into specifics, you have not chosen to sell yet. The market is peaking. Undoubtedly, this is the hottest the market's been since 99, 2000. 2011 will be the hottest year. 2012, that nobody knows if that's going to be as hot as 2011. How are you guys thinking about being independent versus joining a bigger company, what are you and your founders, thinking about that issue? How, this is your first startup. I'm assuming that you're not a trust fund kid with $100 million in your bank account.
Nope.
How do you come to work every day knowing you could sell this for $100 million and not get distracted?
So last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I think there were some rumors about Facebook entering our market. There was some rumors that Facebook was going to take their comments widget, put a lot more steam behind it, make product improvements, and try to get a lot of the media and publisher relationships that that we've had, and maybe they're trying to get wider adoption the same way they have their like buttons. We're not super concerned with that, but we're actually very excited about the fact that them entering our market could help with that sort of market education. We don't have the penetration we want. I don't think we're going to sell until we reach the point where we're very happy with how Disqus becomes a internet brand. There's a lot of steps in that path that we have not even stepped on yet.
And so what's it like, though, in all honesty, to come in and know that Facebook, which is notorious for taking any good idea with traction in the market, duplicating it very well, in fact, typically. Not as well. I mean, they knocked off Quora. They did about 60, 70% of the job. They knocked off Flickr. They did about 60, 70% of the job, in my estimation. They knocked off Twitter, did about 80% of the job, in my estimation. They're going to knock you guys off. They'll probably do 70%, but they get that 30%. They fill in that 30% or more with their scale. What is that like? Does it keep you up at night? And how do you counter that? What's your advice to other companies that have to face Zuckerberg's photocopy machine?
Yeah. So this is the way we look at it. I mean, right off the bat, I think we're in really good company. You mentioned, Twitter and updates, Places and Foursquare, Questions and Quora. I mean, Facebook's alternatives to those are very strong products. And I think what they've done is actually helped educate the marketplace. They've helped tell people why Places is a meaningful thing to do, to actually use and check in with. And then people may not resonate with it. Maybe they like the idea, but they think Foursquare is a better product. Right now, blog comments or installing Disqus is something that we still have to educate the market on. We've done really well so far, but there hasn't been a strong competitor to help us carry that along. We've basically been building the product and doing the marketing all ourselves. With Facebook in the picture, I think that our responsibility is building the best product, and we know that we can do that.
How come you don't take a Zuckerberg-like approach and knock off all of your other competitors' features or Facebook's?
Well, they have, I don't know how many thousands, but we're 16 people.
Right. But you in this market, you could raise an unlimited amount of capital. You've got a killer product. You could go out and raise $25 million. What is it about you that says, I want to focus on this thing and do it well, and not say, well, I'm going to copy these other 5 ideas that are closest to me. Like, I'm going to do Q&A. Because you're right. I mean, comments and Q&A, that's like a semantic thing, and maybe there's a little bit about voting for the best answer, but it's very close, commenting and question systems. How come you haven't come out and said, hey, we're just going to go heads up with Quora and Mahalo Answers and, this and that? What is it about your DNA that says, I want to focus on one thing?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I'm the smartest person in the world. I know that we're kicking ass at this, and, instead of going out and trying to do everything, I think that we're going to do this until we absolutely win it, and then make the most natural sort of evolution of this product. I mean, we're not going to be at the ceiling of what we do, comment systems, forever. I think what we want to be is very much in the online community space. I think Q&A is part of that. I think all sorts of web interactions is part of that. But until we lock down what we're doing really well first, I know we're doing well. I know our traction's great, but I'm not happy until we've completely locked down the product, so it's something that people don't push back on. When they see Disqus, they can't say, I don't want to use that. We want all those reasons to go away. So until we get to that point, it doesn't make sense for me to incorporate all these different things and stick our tentacles everywhere.
Clearly, social networking, you've started to dip your toe in there. I'm looking at my site right here. I'm following one person. You can follow people now, and you can find friends to follow. Hey, that to me says you've got a sleeper Facebook on your hands. You've got your own social network in here, and comments, when people decide they're going to comment, that is probably the biggest gesture you can make on the web. It's certainly better than like or a status update. Commenting means I'm going to really start a discussion or join one. Any desire to make a Facebook competitor?
No.
Zero.
And I think so this is why Facebook's Disqus will not win over Disqus. Disqus is for publishers. Publishers trust us. We're a product that is a distributed social network for sure, but we're something that they can go to us for support. They can go to us for a product that works for their communities that they control. And Facebook's interest is in Facebook. They build a kick-ass social network, but their users are the users that go on Facebook.com.
Right, and it's pretty clear that Facebook has a track record of maybe not being the most trustworthy company in the space. And if you're a publisher, are you going to go with the people who are enabling publishers? You're going to go with the people who are looking to disintermediate you. Tyler, and I'm not attributing those comments to you, Daniel. I'm attributing to myself, but I do see by your smile that you agree that Facebook are a bunch of copycats who love to steal from everybody in the market. I can confirm that Daniel agrees with my statement. I'm just joking, Daniel. I know you don't. Wink twice if you agree. Blink. So, Tyler, questions? How can people ask a question? Are there any questions?
Questions through the chat room on Ustream.
Okay.
At ustream.com/thisweekend.
Or is it .tv? Do both work? I think it's ustream.tv.
I'm sorry, ustream.tv.
/thisweekend. You can ask a question, put a cute colon.
Yes.
And then on Twitter, they can ask a question.
Pound twist.
Pound twist. Do we have any good questions for Daniel in the chat room?
Yeah, the most common question Verto 8, Smirnoff, and others want to know is sort of the business model back end to how Disqus makes their money, how it works.
Yeah, so they did talk a little bit earlier about the business model, that they have this sort of paid metrics. Can you expand upon it a little bit? How is it going? I mean, how long have you been doing it, and is it enough to pay for the 16 people there yet?
Yeah, so we have reached profitability at some point. We would push on that and expand. We're not happy with just the add-ons. We don't think it's going to be the big business that we want it to be, but it's going great. I mean, we've just launched it for the last. It's only been live for about 3 months now, and it's picked up. It helped us reach sites that would never use Disqus before, analytics and all these other tools that we offer. Beyond that, our long-term business is. I'm going to be kind of vague, but it's definitely going to be in the direction that helps publishers make money. We have ideas. We're going to be experimenting a lot, but what we want to do is not only add value on the traffic and user side, and the fuzzy value things like engagement and stickiness. We actually want to make these publishers money from using Disqus.
Okay, so the one idea I've had for a long time, and I told Henry Blodgett to set this up, which is invite-only comments. This is on Business Insider, because his comments are terrible, and TechCrunch comments terrible. There's a revenue opportunity there. What if you made it so that I invited people to comment on? I could invite VIPs to comment on Launch or Calicanis.com, but anybody else would have to buy a membership and use a real name, have a credit card, so I would get a little bit of a verification, and they pay $25 a year to comment. Is that some kind of subscription product that you could conceive of working in the marketplace?
If we release that feature, would you use it?
I would use it tomorrow. As a matter of fact,
tomorrow?
I've been asking for this feature for years. I mean, I just don't want to take the time to build it, but I mean, what a brilliant product this would be. If I could, because even if it just charged $1, now you know the person's real name because they used a credit card. So just for that reason alone, to take out spam by charging $1 and get validation, that you could actually say this is a real person. You could actually turn comments from being a mud pit on some sites to being, a beautiful garden.
Yeah, that's not bad. If we do that, I'll give you credit at the bottom.
Any chance you could do that on February 23rd and 24th at the launch conference on stage? If the answer is yes, you have my stage, and you can pick the time slot. I'm sensing that there's a subscription thing going on here and an ad network, but I know that you have to announce it in your time. How much have you raised? That's a question that keeps coming up.
We've raised a little over $4 million.
Modest by today's standards. That was your A round, I take it?
That was a B, yeah.
It was A, B. You had like a little angel round, then the sort of B round.
Yeah, so we did Y Combinator and then a couple more rounds, and that totals about a little over $4 million.
In this kind of market, you must be thinking, heck, I need to load up because this can't be this hot forever. The market is just on fire. Why haven't you raised a power round when you can, clearly?
Why haven't we raised a power round? Is that the word you used?
Yeah, clearly. I mean, you could raise $20 million on a 100 million post. Well, what are you waiting for?
Well, we may.
Okay, there you have it. And what's next? I mean, what is the next big challenge for you guys? Is it really helping the partners monetize? Is that the future of all this?
That's one of them. The big product theme right now is the relationship with the end users. We think that if we get Jason Calacanis to comment more, we get Jason Calacanis to go on the dashboard and interact on these communities more, that not only benefits us as a brand, but it benefits all the websites using Disqus. We think that we have this great network and the great foundation for the platform. We got to start using them together. Right now, we're just building products and building out the platform to be something great that people use, but we're not really taking advantage of that network.
Daniel, thank you for being on the program. Thank you for being so honest. Thank you for proving me wrong and being an awesome entrepreneur. I have learned a lot watching your success, and I certainly regret dismissing this incredible entrepreneur early on. So thank you for teaching me something.
Thanks so much, Jason.
Awesome. I will see you in New York at some point. We'll get some coffee and maybe some sushi. It's on me for not believing in you.
Do you think I'm in New York right now?
Where are you? I thought you were in New York.
I'm in the same state as you. I'm in California.
Oh, really?
I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, you're San Francisco based?
Yeah.
Oh, Fred. I thought Fred hated San Francisco. He told me he hates San Francisco.
He probably does, but he still has to come out here.
Really? Does he
Yeah.
come out for the board meeting?
Yeah.
Or does he Skype in?
No, he comes out.
Really? He's
Yeah.
a great board member, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I will see you when I'm up at the launch conference. You come into the VIP party on the 23rd. You be my guest and bring a couple of your team with you. Nice talking to you.
Hey, man.
Cheers. What a great entrepreneur, right? I mean, it's just awesome. And I just love, I've learned a lot over the last couple of years. You know, I get a lot of emails from people, and now I don't take it for granted when somebody emails, including crazy people. When crazy people send me money in the mail, I just think, like, is this the crazy person who's actually going to make it happen? Or you saw some guy on Twitter flew in from Brazil or something, and he was like, I made the second round of the launch conference. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you have to pick me up at the airport. And I was like, what? And he thinks we're in San Francisco, but we're actually in LA.
Right.
And he's like, oh yeah, Crute set me up for the second round. I'm like, we don't do any of these rounds on anything but GoToMeeting. You can't, or Skype or whatever, you can't just show up at our offices. And so then I started thinking about Zuckerberg, stalker who went on his house and he got a restraining order, and the guy, I mean, it's terrible. And this guy starts emailing every TechCrunch writer, every blogger saying we treated him unfairly. And I'm just like, what is this person talking about? And then he emails me, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, was I a little out of line? I'm like, you tweeted 50 times to everybody on the planet that we lost your application and didn't get back to you. Like, you really, really?
Huh, the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, on tilt. And I'm like trading emails with Alexa and everybody else, like, hey, by the way, this person is probably crazy. I don't know if he's nuts or not, but, we'll give him a second round interview, but bizarre. Like, who told you to fly from Brazil for your second round interview? Like,
Yeah.
The interwebs works. And something else that works is .co. I am in negotiations for a really great .co domain. Create your own opportunity. Go to opportunity.co to see all the great ideas. And you saw the Super Bowl commercial.
No, I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, you don't watch the stupid bowl. I watched the Super Bowl. And they had this incredible GoDaddy girl.
Who was it?
It turns out it's Joan Rivers. They CGI'd her head
Oh, wow.
on top of the body of this ridiculous plastic surgery, whatever model,
Wow.
ridiculous bikini model.
Yes.
And everybody was just like, oh, it was very controversial. But
Wow.
that's what GoDaddy's about, is getting
Yeah.
a bunch of attention.
That's funny.
And it was pretty funny. And so I give them credit for punking everybody. But I give them credit most of all for running a great business and charging $29.95 for those domains so that they don't have all the domain squatters taking them up. It's only 600,000 or 700,000 of the probably 10 million Class A domains are still available. So if you are going to get a domain for your startup, please go to .co and go to GoDaddy and just buy one. And I'm trying to move launch from .is to .co. I am deep in negotiations with them because that was one of their premium domains. And so if I get that, that's a significant upgrade to me from .is to .co. And there's a lot of great names like that still available, one-character domains. And they're going to be doing a really fun contest next week. Or maybe on Tuesday we'll describe the details of it. But if you appreciate them supporting independent media, just say thank you at .co, D-O-T-C-O, create your own opportunity. And hey, thank at MailChimp as well. Let's do a Shark Tank.
I need money. That's what I want. That's what I want. What I want. That's what I want.
Okay, I've got the GoToMeeting up working perfectly here on my laptop. Wow. GoToMeeting's so smooth. Look at that. And so I'm watching his desktop. I love that. And he's getting ready to prepare us for the Shark Tank. Now I've got his video going over Skype, which is one of the wonderful things you can do. You could be working in one window in Skype or on their phone, great phone, voice over IP system, or using the regular phone system, and then having the chat room and everything else going through GoToMeeting by Citrix on your desktop. And so I see that we have our caller there, and his name is
Zubin Wadia.
Zubin. Hey, Zubin, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jason?
Where are you GoToMeeting from?
We are in Westchester, New York. So we're right about 35 minutes north of New York City in Valhalla.
I know Westchester well. That's where my, should I say who I know up there? Anyway, that's where the Knicks practice.
Yes, I'm
Practice
sure
facility is up there, and a bunch of the Knicks live up there. So you are on the Shark Tank. You have 60 seconds, and we have your desktop up here, so maybe you'll show us some stuff while you talk, and we'll cut back and forth. Are you ready?
Yes, I am, Jason.
Okay, we're going to score you based on two things, on a scale of 1 to 10. The first being your pitch, and the second being your idea. Everybody in the chat room knows how to do this. You just put one number / another number. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Zubin, 3, 2, go.
Hey, my name is Zubin Wadia, and I represent CiviGuard. I am the co-founder. And CiviGuard is a real-time, reliable service that allows organizations and their people to be informed and connected during emergencies. Organizations around the world worry about continuity of operations, or capacity to do something about it due to time and bandwidth constraints. What CiviGuard does is something unique in 3 different ways. One, it's super simple to set up a continuity plan that's actionable. You can be ready to go in 5 minutes. Second, it's available in a private, secure, real-time, synchronous manner. So you have complete contact with your people and your business and news sources, etc., over a channel that isn't necessarily public. Third, you have the ability to do this even when the network goes down. You have the ability to have a 20-mile radius of location information. An inoperable business is a dead business. For a few dollars per person per year, CiviGuard can be the difference. Thank you.
Okay, Tyler, you heard the pitch. Rate the pitch and rate the idea.
I actually like the pitch. I like his tone and his delivery. It was concise. I'm like 7.5.
And the business idea?
I want to dive more into it. I kind of want to unpack a few things on it.
So the pitch was pretty good, but I, to be honest, don't understand it completely. Explain to me what the business is again.
Sure. Bottom line, people have to worry about the continuity of operations. Things go wrong.
What does the buzzword continuity mean? I don't understand that word.
Basically, when things go wrong with your business, or you have, say, for example, an Egypt-style situation, or you have a situation specific to your business, like the Discovery headquarters had the shooter.
You're talking about a disaster recovery kind of thing.
But it's basically disaster recovery for your people, not necessarily for your IT infrastructure.
So this is like if, God forbid, 9/11 happens, or the Discovery shooting,
or something,
Egypt.
Exactly. Or even, for example, something simple like, the tractor trailer overturning on your way to Twist. I mean, that's something that's a situation that you might want to, have a pure secure channel to be alerted about a situation like that, and then also do something about it.
So that's what the word continuity means. See, I think that's one of those things where you, in a pitch, need to explain what that is in plainer English, because you're assuming that we know that there's I know this disaster recovery industry, but I didn't know there was a business or operational continuity industry. Is there?
There is a very big industry. It's actually the public alerting and safety industry overall is about $46.5 billion globally. And it's something that is being tracked by Forrester, Gartner, major research tanks, et cetera. So it is, in fact, a very big industry, but it's basically dominated by paper and dominated by consultants and and also a lot of continuity planning tools that basically let you assemble a static plan, but none of them are really actionable. You can't really put things into practice and really sort of point click using our premium service and really set up something that indicates to your people and your employees what to do when something goes wrong.
Okay,
And
so if we had, God forbid, at Mahalo, a fire in the building, and
Right
it's
on.
happened in the middle of the night, I would go home or pull out my laptop, I would go to CiviGuard, and I would say, the building went on fire, here's where everybody should go to work today, or we're not going to be working for the next 3 days, please check your email at home, and we're going to have a business meeting at noon on Thursday at this hotel in this conference room to explain what's going on.
Right, but it's a little bit more easier than that. I mean, it's optimized for your smartphone. It's an HTML5 optimized application. You can try it out on our site. It's completely a mobile interface. And the other thing is your plan gets activated automatically. So it's pretty easy for you to predict that if Mahalo had an issue, here's your secondary location where you need to reconvene. So all you have to do is activate the actual plan instead of actually, typing out emails, making sure everybody's available. Similarly, your employees, you might be worried about whether they're okay, they're hurt, they're lost, they're trapped. In any of those situations, you can use our interface and with a click of a button, actually be able to indicate this to Facebook, Twitter, and our service, and basically get help.
Now, is the product launched?
The product is actually in production for the city of Manor in Texas, which is a city that's actually trying to use this. Initially, our target market was government and customers, so New York City would be another customer that we wanted to cover. But interestingly enough, the most traction we've had is actually in the finance and education sector. That's where top-level finance and education personnel have been in talks with us for a pilot, and we're going to be announcing a few very prominent signups shortly.
Obviously, the pitch for a layperson was a little bit rough, or somebody who doesn't know the industry, so I give it like a 6 or 7. But the business idea seems like an 8 or a 9. Easy to use, and I guess self-serve. And clearly, this is an important thing for any sort of larger scale business to have set up, I guess.
Absolutely.
If there's something that happens, God forbid, terrorist attack or anything, you're going to need to figure out how the organization continues, a building.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it becomes a competitive advantage to you in such a situation if you're operational and the others aren't.
That's interesting too. Yeah, because you need to start thinking about it. Hey, your business makes $25,000 a day, $50,000 a day, $100,000 a day. If you can get back online and get back working, like we have this disaster recovery. If Chicago goes out, we have LA. Now we're going to have Europe. We have multiple data centers. Why wouldn't we have this for office space in the off chance? How do you charge for it? How much is it?
It's basically per employee per year pricing, and it's tiered based on the size of the corporation.
So for a 100-person
or the
corporation,
entity.
is it $1 a person? Is it $5 a person?
Yeah, per month, exactly. $1 a month.
$1 a month. So I mean, $1,200 for a 100-person organization like Mahalo a year.
Yeah, very, very reasonable, and it basically is it's basically operational insurance for your people. I mean, it's something that instead of just drawing out a health policy or an insurance policy, this is something that's actionable and lets you be in the loop and lets you still have your business deliver for you even under disruptive conditions.
Awesome. Well done. I see in the chat room a bunch of 6 and 7s, not 7, 9, 6.58, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think you got to do a little work on the pitch. Maybe start thinking about when you pitch to a general audience, enhance it with some real world examples instead of the industry buzzword bingo, jargon stuff, which is, maybe if you're at a conference where it's facilities managers and chief operating officers, that would have been a 10 pitch. But remember, this is a general audience or a technical audience. But yeah, really good job. And you can come to the launch conference as our guest. Well done.
That would be great. And Jason, can I make one tiny announcement?
Sure.
We're actually part of the NYC Big Apps competition, and if you want CiviGuard to be a part of New York City's infrastructure and be something that's New Yorkers can use, please go ahead and vote for us. We are in the lead currently. There's about 50 competitors, and we've got 124 votes already, and the competition started yesterday. So please go out there and vote.
I was a judge for the first year of the Big Apps competition, and what an amazing competition it is, run by Challenge Post.
Yes.
which I was lucky
Brandon
enough to.
Kessler.
Brandon Kessler. I was lucky enough to invest in it, and so what they've done is they've basically set up a contest where folks like our Shark Tank build products that would help New York, and then provide them for free to New York as an application, and then New York gets all these amazing apps built for free. It only costs them like a couple $100,000 to do, from what I understand, but they get tens of millions of dollars worth of development done for free, and all these people who build apps get an audience. It's an awesome, like X Prize like challenge. And New York City and Bloomberg, man, what a well-run city. I mean, can you imagine that there's a mayor who is running an X Prize like event for the second time to create applications around the data and the facilities in New York? What a great mayor. What a great idea. Congratulations, Civigard and Zubin. We'll see you at the launch conference, I hope. Cheers now.
Sounds like a plan. Appreciate it. Looking forward to being there. Bye.
Okay, let's bring in Mike Rocco. Let's do 2 or 3 news stories and get the heck out of here. Yeah, I have to tell you, when you write a letter to somebody who's important, I'm not saying I'm important, but when you perceive that you're writing
It came
letters,
off that way.
it did come out. If you send a letter to somebody who's busy, and who is,
Are you saying you're busy?
I'm very busy. This is a note. If you send a letter to somebody, don't offer like to buy them a meal or dinner. Like, I mean, I know it's gracious, but it comes across as like. It's like when somebody hands you like a T-shirt with their logo on it. It's like a logo with the other person, with the, you know what it's like? It's like a logo with your photo on it. It's like a T-shirt with your photo on it.
No, that doesn't count.
It doesn't count if I do it.
No.
No, you understand what I'm saying?
No,
It's like, it would be like if I gave you a picture of me. Notice it's like a framed picture as a birthday present. It's a framed picture of your friend as a birthday present.
Of yourself.
Of yourself.
It's like giving your friend a photo of yourself for their birthday.
Yes.
See, that's how you do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this. But it is like that. Did you ever have anybody do that?
No.
I had this guy. He's like this really like bad PR guy who I'm not going to mention his name, but a very smarmy, like bad PR guy. Mm-hmm. And I go to breakfast with him.
It's like sending condoms for Valentine's Day. I guess that didn't work either.
Why are the people not listening? It is like sending condoms on Valentine's Day. It's like,
Yes.
like it's a little presumptuous.
Yeah. Just don't do that, by the way. Girls don't really.
Not
that
a good idea.
doesn't work so well.
Maybe go with the chocolate.
Yeah.
So this PR guy is like, meet me for coffee. I'm like, I don't want to meet this guy for coffee. But this is like when I started my career. And I go to coffee with a guy. And he was a real idiot. I hate this guy. He says, I got you a present. Super effeminate, So imagine like a super effeminate guy saying, I got you a present. And I'm like, oh, did you? Oh, well, that's nice. I didn't ask for one. But he goes, are you ready? And I'm like, oh, my God. I always hate when somebody like suggestively flirts with you in a business situation, male or female. This happened to be male. Gay guy. And he's like, are you ready? And I'm like, it's like talking to Richard Simmons or something. Like I feel like I'm going to be doing jumping jacks in a minute.
Right.
And he's like, here it is. And I'm like, and he hands me a picture of himself, his headshot. And I'm like, thanks.
Was it signed?
No, but I mean, it's a PR person's headshot. And I said, thanks. He goes, well, here's also my book. And I would love it if you would review it. And it would be wonderful. And I thought you might need the headshot for the magazine. And I'm just like, really? Come on. I mean, I don't mind being flirted with, like, at a bars. I mean, but, like, it's a business setting.
Yeah.
Then the same guy who I hated started telling people. He got a client after Silicon Valley Reporter put this company on the cover. Mm-hmm. He got them as a PR client. Mm-hmm. He then started telling people, pitching them, my friends, I will get you on the cover of Silicon Valley Reporter magazine. I'm great friends with Jason. So 3 of my friends go, this PR guy pitched my company. He told me that he could get me on the cover of your magazine. And I was like, he said he got, this, other company on the cover. I'm like, no, he didn't. That company raised a bunch of money. We put him on the cover. But it was like, very weird experience. Very smarmy guy. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to do it anymore. I have to stop picking fights with people after last week or this week. What's in the news?
So we got some news. So the big story that happened last Sunday was the announcement that AOL purchased Huffington Post. So last Sunday was announced that AOL agreed to buy Huffington Post for $315 million. Arianna Huffington co-founded the company in 2005, built it to 28 million monthly uniques, and ranks 27th in the U.S. according to Comcast.
Comcast or ComScore?
Quantcast, sorry.
Quantcast.
Quantcast.
Sorry. Okay.
So
They're
the
merging.
sale.
It's going to be.
ComScore and Quantcast?
Yeah. So the sale of $315 million is around 5x their expected revenue next year. Arianna will be joining AOL to lead the newly formed Huffington Post Media Group, which will integrate all Huffington Post content with AOL content, including TechCrunch. So she'll be your new boss for your buddy Michael Arrington over there. So what do you think about AOL's strategy here, and as well as Arianna's ability to build Huffington Post in a relatively short time?
I'm good friends with Arianna. I'm very happy for her. It's a reasonable price, even though it seems large. It's 10x last year's revenue, 5x next year. So they're on a good run rate, apparently. Probably on a $60 million run rate, which would be like, what is that? $5 million a month. I mean, it's incredible. AOL's obviously got huge operational problems, and integrating something like this is going to be messy. But that being said, they do have a lot of uniques. It does help the ad effort. People like to buy ads on Huffington Post. They consider it an influencer brand. That's why I say smart move by Tim Armstrong. I think Tim Armstrong's strategy is, I think the public markets give like a new CEO who's taking over a distressed asset, and AOL's a distressed asset. Obviously, the access business is cratering like this, and they're trying to build up this content business at the same time. So the market gives a CEO a certain amount of time. I think he's been in the job for 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
In 2009, I think is when.
Yeah, so about 2 years. I think he's got 2 more years of pain and suffering left as the access business craters, right? Which is nothing to do with him. That's just people figuring out how to cancel their subscription. And literally, AOL's subscription business is down to people who don't know how to unsubscribe from it. I mean, and they had all the lawsuits about it's hard to unsubscribe and Attorney General. So, when companies try to make it hard to unsubscribe, you know that people don't want the product. Again, has nothing to do with Tim Armstrong. He's done an excellent job of building up a world-class team. He's got great people. Buying a couple of good assets. TechCrunch, good asset. I helped build it. Huffington Post, great asset. 5min, great asset. So he's got a lot of good assets. The question is, how many quarters does the market give him to figure this all out? And where does the stock go? My prediction is he's got 2 or 3 more quarters of just really bad news after bad news after bad news, which means the stock's going to crater to $15. But then I think after people give up on it, then he can start building it back up. And from what I understand from the investment bankers I've talked to, what he's trying to do is accumulate a couple of big assets quickly so that he can try to merge with Yahoo. And then he could become the CEO of the combined things with the thinking that Carol Bartz is not the right CEO for Yahoo and that she's an operational CEO who will get it from point A to point B. And he's desperately, from what I'm told, trying to get these assets together and lobby people to get Yahoo and AOL to merge. Then you would have all this display advertising in one place. You'd have a huge sales team. You'd have 2 of the biggest mail products, 2 of the biggest news products, 2 of the biggest instant messenger products, not that that matters anymore, 2 really big finance communities, 2 really big sports communities, and you could sell them as one. Again, massive integration problems. So while all of this stuff is being merged and he's trying to put it together, it's hard. So I commend him for trying to figure it out. I think if I was in the same situation, might not be the strategy I would take to buy up a bunch of assets. I would build. But Tim Armstrong's not a builder. What brand has he ever built? He's not a creator. Neither is Carol Bartz. You have a sales driven CEO in one company and operations driven CEO in another. And now bringing in Ariana Huffington, who is a creative type, who does create, I think is an incredible asset. So I think Ariana's worth $100 million to bring in. So then you pay $200 million for the Huffington Post. She'll bring $100 million worth of value to AOL. I think she will add 5% to their market cap. She's worth 100, and then you get Huffington Post for 2, so it's a discount. Tyler, any thoughts? It's like a...
No, it's not. I know, but credit to All Things D. I love their headline on that. You've got Ariana.
Yeah. Well, Ariana's on TV like, what, 50
Yeah.
times a week?
Oh yeah, she's
All she does is fly.
she's the heir apparent to Oprah Winfrey, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
I mean, I told her when she was starting the thing, I was like, Ariana, you should come to our studio and just do your own daily show and put it up on Huffington Post. You're, oh, Jason, this is a good idea. It's like the blogs, but on the video.
Yeah.
Next story.
So next story. Flash over to our site, One Kings Lane, this morning announced they
Yes.
raised $23 million.
I love One King's Lane.
So One Kings Lane specializes in flash sales for home decor.
Amazing site.
The round was led by existing
Kleiner.
investor Kleiner Perkins and new investor Greylock Partners.
Great VCs.
Also participating include high-profile individuals Reed Hoffman and Marissa Meyer.
Yes.
The site was founded in 2008 by Susan Feldman and Allison Pincus, wife
Yep.
of Mark Pincus.
Yep.
The site has grown 500% since 2009, or over 2009, and 75% of the sales are from repeating customers.
Yes.
So what do you think about this type of niche market in a flash sale?
Unbelievable. This is the site that flash sales were made for. You have high-end designers selling really awesome pieces at a massive discount. I mean, if you are into design and you want to buy like really nice sheets or a really nice, kitchen appliance or stuff like that, I mean, the deals on the site are just mind-blowing. It's like, this is for people who shop at Crate & Barrel or Sur La Table, like higher-end stores. This is not for the Bed Bath & Beyond crowd. If you're shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond, there's other places to get deals, for, like just your standard linens. But if you want those high-end linens that cost $2,000 to do your bed, you can get them for $600 or something like that. Or if you want that amazing Cuisinart thing that costs $550, or this incredible set of, carving knives that cost $400, like they're going to be 50% off. I mean, it's like an LVMH luxury Groupon. It's brilliant. I love it. My wife shops on it all the time, and you've seen me tweet about it. So I'm a big fan of it. I think it's got the potential to be like LVMH, like Louis Vuitton kind of version of Groupon. Like really high end, beautiful stuff, and they just present it in a way that doesn't feel cheap. Like sometimes things are on these flash sites and it feels like I saw today one of the sites had like sushi. And it was like $40 worth of sushi for $20, and I was like, I don't want to eat that sushi. I don't want to eat at the sushi joint that needs it. I don't want to eat the sushi joint that's giving it for half off, because then I'm worried about the fish. Where do they get the fish from? You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a high-end version of some of these things, and they're it. Really well-designed site, and they clearly get it. And also I tweeted, really cool how these affiliate programs work now. Living Social's got a brilliant one where I think if you get 3 of your friends to buy a deal, you get the deal for free. So if you buy the deal and then get 3 of your friends to buy it, yours is free, or something like that. And One King's Lane, if you get any of your friends to buy from it, you get $25 in credit to your account. So I tweeted twice, like, hey, we bought something, whatever. And I think I have $75 or $100. So it really works. E-commerce and just retail. Retail is screwed. Anybody who pays retail is an idiot today. You could survive on just flash sites alone. So
I think somebody's making a movie about that even.
there is somebody making a documentary where they just
Groupon
live
movie?
off Groupons for a year or something. Yeah, there is. So anyway, awesome for them. Tyler, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting to see which of the Groupon variants actually stick. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like there's parenting ones. And
Yeah, Family Finds. By,
I didn't even mean that. I mean, there's like little kids ones and
Yeah.
grandma one.
It's such a all of those seem to be sustainable.
But that your point of retail screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think that out. Like 5 years down the road, does that mean like everyone starts thinking like I'm not, no one buys anything retail. Everyone just buys everything through these. It's like
Yes.
At what point is the Groupon the norm?
I think we're getting to that point. I think that is what's going to happen. Just like buying from Amazon is becoming the norm.
Facebook and
At
Google
Christmas.
are both getting into that game.
Well, Google's giving discounts. I mean,
Google's going straight into that. Yeah, Google,
if you don't
Google
ask
deals.
for a deal, you're an idiot. That's what I think. Next story.
Next story.
So to speak.
So this was a big story. It's been all across the news the
Last
past day.
story.
The Nokia will now be powered by Windows. So this week it was announced that a strategic alliance with Microsoft will essentially put Windows Phone 7 as the default OS on Nokia's phones, replacing Symbian and MeeGo platforms, although they'll be used in modified lower-end use cases.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
So do you think this is a bigger deal for Nokia or a bigger deal for Microsoft?
Yes.
Or both.
Yes, yes. This is a case. I wouldn't. Tim Armstrong had a bizarre quote where he said 1 + 1 = 11. You should never make just for anybody out there, like when you're talking to the press, never say that, because that just is like people will remember that quote and then they'll shove it down your throat later on when you trip. Steve Case responded to that and said, "That was not my experience."
Yeah.
And that I emailed Steve. I was like, "Tweet of the year," and I tweeted it to him. He sent me back a smiley face. Microsoft Nokia, Windows 7 operating system for mobile is built from the ground up for mobile. It's elegant. It's like the Zune operating system. It's more Xbox than Windows 95.
Yeah, it's not even Windows. It's Xbox-ish. Like
It's Xbox.
It's Zune-ish
design.
and Xbox.
It's Zune. It is wonderful.
that's the better part of what Microsoft does.
It's
not
wonderful.
the-
But the iPhone is amazing, and Android is free to all these operators, and it's been available for a while. It's customizable. So for Windows to get that much distribution, and Nokia with their product design and the lower end market, Nokia could pound out those Windows, and they could get their products into the hands of 2/3 of the planet for $100. They could be the $100 smartphone. Microsoft doesn't care if they make any money off this operating system. They've got to just get into this market. So Microsoft, I am certain, is giving them the operating system for free. So there's no cost to Nokia. Nokia gets to build off that platform. And Nokia then, you have to ask, well, then what is Nokia in the business of? They don't have an operating system, so they don't control the desktop. Or do they control the desktop? There might be some concessions in this where Nokia gets the search box or half the search revenue. You know what I'm saying? All these important things. They get to control the desktop on their phones, obviously. But I'm guessing Microsoft is giving them the operating system for free to build the base, because Steve Ballmer is really embarrassed that Microsoft doesn't have. Microsoft is in 5th place or whatever they're in, and it's you get the BlackBerry, the iPhone, and Android. That's the majority of smartphones, and Microsoft doesn't have a big place in it. So I think it's a bold move by Microsoft. It's brilliant. And Nokia, okay, they're a bit of a disaster, sure, but they have a big channel, and they obviously have done some good things. So this could free them of having to worry about the operating system and let them focus on handset technology, distribution, cost, form factor, and design. Will it work? Coin toss, but I like it. I like it because it gives both companies. You have two desperate companies who have complementary skill sets. One made a really beautiful operating system, but doesn't have distribution. One has distribution, but no operating system. So it is sort of a match. It's a good match. I mean, it would be as if Google, instead of making their operating system, just partnered on the iPhone. And Google sold the iPhone. And, imagine if that had happened. Instead of Google making Android, they just said, oh, you know what, we're not going to try to compete. We're just going to support the heck out of Windows. Or we're going to just partner with Apple and try to, have a piece of the iPhone market that way. So I think it's better news than anybody could ever have hoped for out of Nokia. What do you think?
The thought that comes to my mind is now as a developer, you think, oh, now I have another platform I need to develop for. It has that much distribution. The numbers are overnight now. There's enough people that are going to adopt on that. So
yeah, when they get the phones out there,
yeah,
they're going to have to get the phones out there. I think also Microsoft has tons and tons of money, so you might see there might be some part of this deal which is like Microsoft is going to subsidize, 100 million handsets for $10 each for $1 billion, or whatever, and or $50 each, and spend $5 billion. This is what I would do if I was Microsoft. I'd spend $5 billion because they get tons of cash later on. Spend $5 billion just getting, $150 smartphone down to $100, crush the market, be the cheapest, way for people to get into a smartphone, and then you put a lot of pressure, downward market pressure on the iPhone and the thing, and they can compete on price, which is why people buy Windows machines today. Yeah. Price.
It's a huge win for the consumer.
Huge win for the consumer because now it's going to make Windows 7 viable as an ecosystem.
It's going to drive.
It's going to be huge
Apple,
for developers.
It's going to make out. And you read a post yesterday, coincidentally, that Apple's driving their prices down on their phones.
Well, Apple's going to have margin pressure. I mean, this is why Apple stock I'm questionable on.
Potentially, so they're saying Apple's going to release a separate nano version of their iPhone for as low as $49, which would be huge. So
we'll see. I mean, thank you, Mike Bracco. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you to Eric Organic for my wonderful desk, 100% wood, crafted by beautiful, beautiful people, Amish people who care with 30 years of experience. Go to Eric Organic.
How is an Amish person watching This Week in Startups?
They're sitting right over there. Thank you, Daniel the founder of Disqus, for coming on the programs, even though I blew him off when he was starting out. Thank you at MailChimp. Thank you at .co. And we'll see you all at the launch conference in 11 days. I can't wait. I need to get some sleep this weekend. I'm going to get a Thai massage. Tyler and I are going to get some Thai massage. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.